What is up, Overwatch community? Welcome to Watchpoint, the show where we talk about everything Overwatch related. We are back, and earlier this week we got an announcement that beta will be back too. So we got a little bit of news for you guys and a couple of our own little thing that we threw on to the end of the show. But into that announcement first. And once again on the show, we have Yiska with us.
Hi.
And Vulture, our lovely editor.
Hello.
So into the news for the first things that were announced. Obviously, beta is going to be coming back on February 9th, most likely after all of Blizzard's maintenance. They do WoW maintenance on that day, and I'm pretty sure, I think the only thing that doesn't get maintenance is like Hearthstone. I think Hearthstone is like Wednesdays for Tavern Brawl and that type of stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, but so I don't think it'll be early. I think it'll be probably Pacific time around 2 or 3 o'clock p.m. Maybe even later, depending on how they do it. I don't know if they have to do maintenance or if they have to just like flip on the servers. But some of the things that are going to be coming with the relaunch of beta is going to be an all new progression system, which is something that we've talked about. Do you guys have an opinion? I mean, you do have your opinions, but do you have a hope on anything that they've chosen, or any? Do you think they're doing like maybe a cop out and they're saying it's some grand thing when it's just going to be like this little thing just to feed the people who wanted the progression system? Maybe.
I would guess it's like money or some sort of currency base. It's probably you earn money in game doing stuff, and then you get to spend it on whatever you want. That way, it's not tied to characters. You don't have to use specific characters to unlock specific things, and it's not achievement based. So you don't get achievement whoring, which is kind of stuff they addressed and said they didn't want to happen in the game. That would be a good way to avoid those things. Kind of like a Planet Side 2 type currency thing.
Yeah. Or even just like, I mean, League and all those type of things, or like I'm playing a little bit of Dirty Bomb, that type of stuff. The only thing I don't want, which is something we talked about just before the show, is like League of Legends, how they have this like you play a game and you get like 100 of their currency, and it costs so much for characters that it just seems like you have to play a huge number of games before you get one character out of the 100 that they have for League of Legends. I know they don't have that many for Overwatch, obviously, but I hope that they do something where it's just this little tiny thing, if they're going to bar out characters and stuff like that, which I don't honestly think that they'll do. But any of their progression system, I hope it's just like a little chunk. You just have to work a little bit at it, not grind day in and day out to be able to get whatever they're going to give you in this progression system.
Yeah, I think it's quite, if there's such a currency system, it's quite obvious that they are going to take the daily quest way, which they basically do in every single game they have, right? Despite StarCraft, I guess. Yeah, and I guess not in Diablo, but for both Hearthstone and obviously WoW, they have the daily quests, and I could see that being an option. I just hope it's not tied to something bullshit like play 3 games, watch 10 minutes as a tank or something, or do this, just nothing that has anything to do with, that could influence your decision on what to do in the game. I guess in some ways you can, like incentivizing, for instance, support, which is a role I guess not too many people enjoy, could be fine in that sense, but
then you're just going to get whole teams of support, maybe, though.
Yeah, you would have to randomize, obviously, the quests, much like it is in Hearthstone. But yeah, I just hope they don't open that can of worms. I really don't enjoy when someone's like, for instance, in CS, it's just you get experience for kills, for wins. You get more experience if you win the game. That's basically the most neutral way, and there's no bullshit with. I guess if you were to achievement hunt, you could do that in CS, but yeah, I hope, like, if they do it this way, I hope nobody cares about it much.
Yeah, it's just a little ticket thing.
Yeah.
Another one of the things that they announced, which is much more exciting, is 2 new maps, including a new game mode. So I don't know if this means the new game mode will have 2 new maps, or it's a new game mode that they could put into a couple of the maps. Like if they changed a couple of the maps up to fit that game mode, and there's also 2 maps. Do you have any opinions on how you think that'll work exactly?
Kind of interesting how fast they got this game mode out. That's all I can really say about that.
Hmm.
Came up pretty quick. It'd be interesting to see what they came up with. If it's in depth, then like, holy shit, that's pretty fast. Or if it's just simple, like, we got some sort of new objective system that's basically the same as what's going on now on the maps. We'll see. I'm interested to see what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to your question, I think it's quite safe to say that it's 2 new maps for the new map for the new game mode. Like obviously there is a small chance that it's the other way around, and you can apply this game mode to all the other maps. I just
Well,
don't
maybe
think it's
not even
very
all,
likely.
but just like
Yeah, yeah.
some. You think that it's just going to be like completely separate, and they're just going to add maps under certain game modes, and that's how they're going to keep it separated like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mainly because if you can play that game mode on the other maps, then the game mode probably isn't too different. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
true,
they want
actually.
that. I think they want a different experience, or uh, like a little more expansive experience in that sense. So, I mean, I don't know if how the rest of the show will go, but I guess we could speculate on what this could be. But yeah, I don't think they will be too experimental. I'm pretty sure we will see a game mode that has been seen in other titles, maybe Team Fortress, uh, and they just adapted it in there.
I kind of hope that it's something different and not, it's not like it's a bigger capture point, or it's payload race. As much as I'd like to see payload race, I'd like to see 3 standout, like different enough game modes.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, there's 2 that are kind of similar and then one that's, the standout one.
Like payload race, payload, and then payload with capture point, like
You know.
Hmm.
I don't know if they're gonna keep doing, as far as the maps go. I don't know if they're gonna keep doing like the round the world type deal. If they're gonna give everybody their own specific stage, or if they're gonna start doubling up on things. I really don't know as far as the expansive of how, like, lore heavy their world is. But is there anywhere that you guys feel like they haven't represented?
yeah, the
Am I
moon.
the
The,
moon?
the
Is
moon with
is
the
there wait, is
gorillas.
there a stage? Is there a stage for Junkrat in I don't think there's an Australia stage, is there?
No, I don't
Like
think
a
there is.
desert
No.
style Australia stage? Because I know there's like the Egyptian stage, but
Maybe that's the new payload map race.
hmm,
It makes sense, I guess. It'd be like Mad Max theme. You'd be racing on a train or whatever. I hope not.
that, that would be interesting. I've always liked those maps. I know they had that style in, I believe it was Unreal Tournament at one point. Or no, I'm thinking of a Counter-Strike map where it's like the map itself is on like a moving, like a train, and the idea is to work your way up the train, but like the actual map is just consistently moving and you can fall off and that type of stuff. I like those type of maps. I don't know if it'll fare well in the game with as much movement as there is in Overwatch, but
Yeah, I think, but your general idea, I think, is quite decent in this sense that I actually didn't think about this, but it's quite possible that they're going to take like these iconic places. If you think about it, obviously, Numbani is very African, and then the Temple of Anubis is then Egypt and everything. So basically, it's quite possible that if you think hard enough about an iconic place that they haven't represented yet, where Australia obviously sounds plausible, also
yeah,
because 2 characters come from Australia, you would think that yeah, maybe it's a junkyard or something.
that would be cool too. I didn't even think about that. I mean, it's kind of obvious with Junkrat in the name, but that would be cool too.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would do anything. I don't know if we talked about how like if you guys have ever played Smite. I don't know if any other game has got this type of thing where you basically build up a actually Paladins has it where you go and you capture a point or you capture a couple points maybe, and then they have a thing that pushes in to attack the enemy's base.
Mm.
So if you would think about it, a junkyard would be to capture a place and build a giant mech suit, which they have. That's I mean that's the whole overarching story of Overwatch is the mechs and but you have this junkyard in Australia and you have capture points where you go capture different parts of this mech. And if you capture enough of them, it rushes into the enemy base and you win. So it's kind of capture point style, but
Sounds a
it's a
lot like
little
Payload, where you get some sort of object that you got to escort into the base to destroy the base.
Yeah.
yeah. I guess it's kind of like payload a bit and kind of like capture point a bit, which is why I don't design maps. But
There's been talk on the Reddit, and I've been talking about it too. About uh, Blizzard's got this idea where they can't do a capture the flag because of Tracer, and it won't
Tracer,
work. And people have been talking about instead of having an actual flag that the character picks up, instead you get into like a mech suit that removes
yeah,
all your abilities and it has its own set of abilities. That's a possibility. Maybe they revisited capture the flag, and that'd be kind of cool. I'd like to see that.
yeah. I've seen the mech suit one where basically you just either you're super slow and you can't use your abilities, or like a you go pick up like a radioactive briefcase and it like nullifies all your abilities.
Yeah,
Something like that, where you can still be your character with the guns and stuff like that, rather than the mech suit. But and that kind of makes me question: is if you get into a mech suit, does that completely rule out Diva from getting the thing,
Matriarch.
unless she's in
You'd
her
have
like Zero Suit Samus form?
you'd have
Double mech
Matryoshka.
suit.
Yeah, mechs and mechs. Inception mech.
Like a
Pull
babushka.
out.
Like a babushka. And you could just
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
this mech and this mech. Welcome to Mother Russia.
Matryoshka dolls. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, we've both those topics we've talked on a bunch in the past, but the next one we have coming up is several hero balance updates, which could mean anything. I mean, literally anything.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we've talked about have been, Hanzo needs more. He needs a double jump. He needs, stuff to help him be more mobile, like his brother. Which, if they're so close, doesn't make sense why he's not pretty much exactly like
Well,
a carbon copy as far as his movement goes. Of
Yeah.
I was saying his role needs to be defined. Right now, it's kind of stupid. It's like crappy sniper, crappy skirmisher. It needs to be either skirmisher or sniper.
I mean, it's kind of interesting in the way they phrased this because I think there's quite some information. Maybe they didn't think too much into it, but I actually think that if you like several hero balance updates, right? Hero balance, that doesn't indicate really that, for instance, Torbjorn and complete rework, right? That's not really a balance update. It's more like gameplay. So so maybe they just tweaked some numbers and changed some things around, and the big updates aren't there yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
Maybe during the development they felt like maybe the numbers are just off, or we could tweak it here, and maybe Torbjorn isn't useless in a way if we could tweak this number or take this like. The phrasing makes me think that there no new systems have been designed, or someone's going to get a completely new Ultimate or something. It
Yeah,
sounds more like number tweaking.
It's
I
just
agree
number
with that.
tweaking.
Yeah,
I think the main people that they're probably gonna change, or the people that they're gonna tweak, would be people like Torbjorn, people like Zenyatta, people like, the new three May. Um, why am I blanking? I can only think of May because she's
May,
Bay, but
Genji, and Diva.
yeah,
Yeah. No, but like the thing is though that the feedback they have given to us is that they realize that there's gameplay issues with both Torbjorn and Bastion.
Mm-hmm.
And Torbjorn I can totally agree with. Bastion depends what you want to do with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Bastion, I don't know. Like number tweaking, what would that do in his case? Not too much, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, unless they gave him like a speed boost out of turret form or something like that, like something
Yeah.
just random.
Yeah, but that's a mechanic again, right?
Yeah,
That's not
that's
really
true.
number tweaking it. Yeah.
Well, you could
I
see it
mean,
as
just
number
I guess.
tweak because cooldowns is kind of like a balanced mechanic, and it is kind of a cooldown in and out of mode. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You could classify it, in my opinion, as
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would do to too many characters just because I haven't got my hands on, the actual beta yet, which is a Blizzard. Come on. But it just seems like I'm glad that they're still changing stuff and still tweaking and you know they're gonna work on several things as far as I hope it's honestly I hope it's not just numbers. We might be just looking too much into the word usage,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
I hope they do. I mean they changed Bastion's ult from back in the day.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, it used to just be like an AoE shoot thing. It was just like a mine, basically.
Yeah, mine, yeah.
But I hope that they do stuff like that. Like, don't get too attached to the heroes as far as where they are right now, because it's still beta. We still have what? It's February, so we still have possible 4 months.
Yeah.
Because what's the Amazon date? Isn't it like June 20 something?
Yeah. 21 or something, yeah, around that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's still a lot of stuff to do. Obviously one argument that speaks for more drastic changes is that they actually delayed the beta, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if they had to code the system or something, that would probably happen. That could have happened in that time frame, right? So how long has the beta been down for? Like 2 months? Wait, yeah, right? A little over 2 months.
I think you punched the shit out of your mic.
Yeah, is that better?
Oh, it stopped.
Sorry about that. It's all
Yes.
better.
Everything's better. No, but yeah, I think. Kind of lost my train of thought here, but what was I talking about again?
I do not know. But to save dead air,
Yeah.
I don't see anything crazy. I think you're right. I think it's just going to be number tweaks. But another thing that they brought up was a variety of private game updates, including full AI matches. So people who are not comfortable playing against other players are going to be able to play against AI. I don't know if that means like they're just going to put bots into the game and you can turn bots on and off however you please, or if it's going to be like how some other games are where you can either jump in by yourself or jump in with a full team of humans against a full team of bots, maybe.
I'm hoping whatever it is, it's not a lot of time invested into it because it's something I'm completely not interested in and don't care about. And I think a lot of people who are interested in the game aren't interested about it. So I really hope it's something super bare bones that they don't invest into.
It's nice for new players. It's nice for people who, like kids or something who don't have any experience in FPS or whatever. But 80%, I'm going to make that bold statement. 80%, maybe even more of the people who are going to come and play this game, they don't care. They might jump into theory craft and like, BS around with their friends in AI matches, but they're not going to touch it.
It might have some merit if you have a lot of customization options, like have someone just have jump as an option for a AI. That way you could practice, air shots or something like that. It could have some merit, but I mean, you're better off playing against humans.
Yeah, I don't actually think that's going to be in the game. It's literally a bad AI and you can kind of fine tune them, and that just increases their accuracy or something. I don't think they actually spend too much time on it, which makes me wonder why they even included that in the
post.
Yeah, maybe they wanted to make it look like more, and
It
don't
was just like another thing that they threw onto the bottom of it.
Well, after 2 months of downtime, people probably expect some stuff, right? So they pick ambiguous expressions where you don't really know what's exactly coming, so you don't cause a shitstorm. I mean, that's smart PR. Let's be real, right? But yeah,
it might be something indicative of something coming down the line, or like AI, PVE elements make it into matches that are PvP, kind of like like lane spawns, something like that. Maybe this is something they're kind of testing for that. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, in general, if you think about the content of Overwatch or the lore, what are humans fighting against?
Robot.
AI, right? So I don't know. Obviously, there's not going to be any.
This is unfortunate, but excuse me for just one moment while I kill this fucking spider.
Don't kill him. Save him. That spider's keeping him safe. Little does he know.
Are we going to witness him becoming Spider-Man, man?
I hope he didn't kill him. Did you kill it?
All right, it's demolished on my wall.
It's part of the wall now.
Yeah. I was watching that son of a bitch. I mean, for anyone watching this, watch from probably like 10 minutes. It's crawled along the, like, let's say north all the way to the east, and then it disappeared in my ceiling, went back that way, and then now it came all the way right over here. I was going to let it go, and then it came in my barrier, so it's dead. Okay.
It's like American politics under Trump.
Yeah, man. You getting my... Okay, don't even. Never mind.
Smash that shit on the wall, man.
Not going to go there. Not going to touch that. You can touch it all you want because you're European. But, so is there anything really big? I mean, obviously beta coming back is super huge. We're going to have another reporter in the field. Hopefully everybody gets in the field. But is there anything big? Anything you want to say as far as beta goes that you hope they didn't announce and they're going to sneak in, or something of that merit? Anything you noticed that should have been changed that they didn't change, Yiska?
That's a good question. Let me think about this. They didn't address server issues, I guess.
The ping and stuff.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I guess that wouldn't be like the tick rate, I guess.
Yeah, tick rate. Okay.
Obviously, like I went back and we talked about the tick rate before, but I went back, tried to understand what's actually happening. I think it's not even 100% sure what the tick rate is at this point, because the methods to measure this are quite unreliable. So, like, what it comes down to is dying when you felt like you did an action that would have caused you to survive. That's the annoying part. Yeah. If it comes down to tick rate, I don't care what it is, dude. If it's a small wizard, bewitching me every time I want to escape, I don't care. Kill the little wizard then.
Yeah.
But
do you think that's something that is? Do you think it's a big of an issue, like a hindrance in the beta to be able to actually test stuff, or is it something that can be fixed by release? Do you think it's like a number 1 priority or like a number 2 priority?
Maybe not even number 2 priority, really. Because, well, the thing is, it probably happens less than one would expect, I guess.
It's just, it's like everything else. When it happens to you, you notice it, and it's infuriating. And then you honestly probably notice it a bit more. You probably let it slide under the radar and didn't really notice it, and you're like, oh, I died because I'm bad or whatever.
Yeah. And otherwise, like, the netcode isn't too big of an issue. Sometimes sketchy stuff happens with, you hitting rockets where the body of the target isn't, and like there's some visual issues, but that seems to be just a coding issue. I don't know, like, huh. Obviously, I don't even know if they would actually address this in the
Hmm.
in such a post. They probably, it doesn't sound sexy, and it might be promising too much if they said,
People have no idea. Honestly, I bet like a lot of the people who are like, "Oh, Overwatch post, it's beta coming back," and they're gonna be like, "Oh, by the way, guys, we fixed our netcode and the tick rate, blah blah blah. We found that problem, we fixed it." I get there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna be like, "Oh, hell yeah," but if people are gonna be like, "What was that about? Like, I didn't even read that."
yeah, didn't even notice it,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Otherwise, I don't know. I think like it's very hard to just to judge how well they use that downtime right
Hmm.
now, because there could be everything in that wording they provided, right?
Hmm.
Despite a new hero, obviously that's not going to happen. Probably not even before release. And no, I think I was actually very surprised that new content, real content, is in there with the game mode, right?
I
So
think that's awesome. I think the new map and the new game mode, or however they're going to package it, and this progression system for people to try out, even if I don't even know if they will. Do you think they'll cap the progression system
in what sense?
in the beta? Like, do you think it's
Oh,
just going to be like free reign and then they're just going to reset it on launch? Or do you think it's going to be like, oh, you're going to be able to get to level 5 or whatever with your profile?
Oh, there's got to be a cap of some sort because otherwise it's going to cause bugs. Um,
That's
as
true.
far as a reset, they'd probably do a reset during launch. Um,
Yeah.
Probably.
depends, yeah. I mean, that's a very good point because that's like a salt mine, dude. That's like imagine if people were able to farm their cosmetics right now in beta, and then the others like, and you would transfer it to the actual game, dude. The shitstorm. This
If
guy.
you if you play a beta, literally everything that you do, you should expect it to not go to launch.
True. As long as they don't monetize the beta. If they do
Even if
monetize
even
it,
if they monetize it I believe in Hearthstone, and Here's the Storm too, when they did their, I don't know if it was the day of release or close to release reset, if you spent $700 in Hearthstone, if you bought every single card or whatever, when they did the reset, you just got funded all your money back to your
okay,
Blizzard account. They're not going to steal your money,
okay,
but it's just they just gave you all your money back and wiped your account. So you're not losing anything, but if it's a progression system, people will bitch and moan that, oh, I put all this time into your beta and unlocked everything. Why do I have to unlock everything again?
Well,
mm,
they're not gonna bitch as much if it's cosmetic shit. I mean, you can see some validity to bitching about in-game stuff like cards that are to a deck type that you like and stuff
Yeah.
like that. If it's cosmetic stuff and you're bitching, then you're a bitch. That's all I have to say about that. There's probably going to be a few resets because this is a brand new, kind of untested progression system. So they're probably going to be tweaking that too and resetting it
Yeah.
over and over again. So,
Do you think they're gonna? No, I was about to ask if you think the progression system is gonna have any effect on ranking.
I would be super, super surprised if it did.
Okay.
Maybe there's like some special ranking item that you unlock that could be considered progression, but not the core progression mechanic that they're developing, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. Sounds good. Um, so we threw together this little thing, our own little show that we had going on before, I believe, or the day of this announcement. So as that only filled a little bit because it was just a little blurb of information that we got from Blizzard. We have a couple bold predictions that we want to go through. Just like everything, all the other lists that we've made, there could be overlap, but it's just for fun. It's just, if someone's like, I think Mei is going to get deleted from the game.
Hmm.
You're probably wrong, but if you're out there and Mei is your absolute favorite character, it's all right. It's just our opinion. So does anybody want to start with a bold prediction?
Yeah. I guess I'll start with a prediction.
Okay.
It's along the lines of Reinhardt. I think Reinhardt's gonna get a nerf to his shield and total hit points at some point. If I'm wrong, I'll eat one of my toenails. I guess
Yeah.
that's the thing. And that prediction has to come true by the time, let's say 2 months after the release. 2 months after release, if Reinhardt doesn't get a shield nerf of some sort, I'll eat one of my toenails.
Wait. Okay, what happens if they nerf it and buff it back again?
I don't eat a toenail then.
No, bullshit. They nerfed it.
No.
That's it. Because you're not going to be like, oh, wait. I still got a 2-month window. What if they buff it again?
Well, if they nerf it, my stance is, let's not play lawyer here, but if they think about, if they nerf the shield between now and 2 months after release in some way, I'm good. If they reverse that because they fuck around with some other character abilities, then I'm not liable.
Just vomit it back up.
That said, is that really a bold prediction?
No, it's not. That's why I have such a nasty.
A throwaway.
Yeah, that's why I'm eating a toenail on that one. I mean, my other predictions aren't so gross. If I lose.
Okay.
Now, I didn't prepare a punishment for every single one of my predictions as more so an overarching punishment. So I did not mention this at the very beginning, though, but we did almost bets. These are almost bold bets that we feel strongly is going to happen, and could offer a consequence. So one of my bold predictions is that I think that there will never. That means in 5 years. This is a horrible prediction as far as 5 years go, but in the grand scheme of things, in the next year or two, I think that there will never be more than 30 characters in the game. I think that it will throw the balance off so hard that you're not going to be able to, especially in like that type of game. I don't think it's going to go over 30. That means that if it hits 30 and they never make another character, I'm completely safe. But the day that they meet that 30, they make that 31st character and he's released, that will break the prediction. And that time limit is ever. There's no I have different time limits on the different predictions, but that one's ever.
Okay.
So currently, by the way, for those who don't know, there are 21 characters. So we have 10 characters to go.
Yeah. But there have already been a bunch suggested, so I guess not 10. Like there's obviously a couple of characters, displayed on art and these Easter eggs type of stuffs. But
I think that the cap is 30. That's why I said it.
Yeah. What do you think? What will they then go into? Because you can't stagger content then. You can't just say, okay, that's the game. Bye. Hands off.
I mean, you kind of. I mean, think about Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, but they didn't they?
They have items, I guess,
and
but
stuff?
Items and weapons.
Items. Yeah, weapons.
Okay, yeah, okay. They could revisit the idea of customizing characters, and then
yeah, they could. I guess.
I mean, I would say things like maps and obviously game types, stuff like that. Tournament style things, like all the background things. So if they get the solid game out, they get 5 game modes with 5 maps under each umbrella, and then they start doing things like rank systems and tournament modes and stuff like that. That's the type of stuff that's going to keep the game revitalized. Obviously, people are kind of baby fed this from all the MOBAs is like the new character every month or so, which is kind of bad, but
so mine.
I don't know. There's heavy feedback from somewhere, but it's gone now. But yeah, okay. So that is mine.
Okay. So for my first one, which I won't take a ban on, because that's actually like it's borderline retarded to suggest this, but because the time frame is the closest to now, I predict that when we get the patch notes, Mercy is going to be completely unchanged. So no
Really?
nerfs to the ult.
Huh.
It's not even that I 100% believe this, but I think there's a case to be made that it's going to be changed. And I actually believe they are just going to build on their idea, you know, of channeling the ultimate and then fixing the issue with people, you know, being kept from spawning, or that's probably what they are going to go with.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if the tech is there, and it's. I think if they made balance changes to, let's say, Zenyatta and everything, they might want to look at how the new Mercy functions in this, you know, situation where maybe they provided more counters to her.
Just saying they'll balance relative around her the other characters and see how that goes.
They might, and I really hope. Like, I actually made a video about this, and I think they should really balance around her, like her power level of supports.
What
they,
do you think her power level is?
if you can't kill Mercy, if she stays safe, she's dominating the action, and that's my perception of what supports in Overwatch should be, because they are so vulnerable, and the more vulnerable and the less offensive powers they have, the stronger the ultimate and the impact should be.
Do you think that they should just balance the supports to all be this like god of, you know, the back line that Mercy seems to be? Like Zenyatta and all them, they're cool, but it seems like Mercy is just like the goalkeeper. Like everyone has to have one, and then there's the other support that's he's cool. He can like skate on wall as there is like a robot that throws balls in your face, but if you don't have Mercy, what are you doing?
I think this is actually kind of a common thing to a lot of games, which take like a support role and kind of split it or make it like this and that instead of dedicated. And what happens is the role gets watered down in such a way that it becomes meaningless compared to the dedicated versions of of its counterparts.
Yeah, I really do think that as far as I've seen, obviously haven't touched them, but as far as I've seen and as far as I've heard you go, not in a negative way, by the way, this is gonna sound, but like on and on about Mercy, is that the other supports just need to be changed.
Yeah, maybe not
Need
Lucio.
to be buffed or something.
Yeah, maybe not Lucio, but yeah.
I think what they should do is, since these supports are kind of aimed as active supports or fighting supports, something like that. I think what they should do is focus on that and then have a secondary support ability that kind of barely counts as support. For example, Soldier 76 fills this role right now, where he's a fighter, he's DPS, he's zone control, and he's kind of a flanker, but he can heal the team. You know, I think they should kind of look at support that's away from Mercy, the Mercy style in that way, like more heavily offense rather than kind of like it this and kind of that and like kind of this and it kind of sucks ass. You know, that's kind of where they sit right now.
Like, I don't think that her playstyle should be you know, the blueprint for supports, just the power level she's at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But do you think that her power level is that high only because of the resurrection?
Mostly, yeah. The
So
other
do you
stuff is
think
pretty
that-
good too, but
Do you think that they would maybe not an AoE? Do you think that maybe they would give like a single target resurrection to somebody else?
yeah, to somebody else. Okay. I think what they actually might also do is just reduce the range of the res. So you, in every given situation, your DPS has to know, okay, if I go out this far, my Mercy has to completely be out of position and get fucked over potentially to res me, so I'm not going outside there, which promotes team play. And then obviously there's also only a number of positions where she could safely stay, and the flanker can then predict the position where Mercy most likely stands. That's also one thing. what if they buff the ability of other characters? For instance, of Tracer, suddenly she becomes much more relevant and a much better flanker. What if she can kill Mercy unless you really dedicate, attention to keeping her alive? Then suddenly the entire power structure changes, right? Or what if Zenyatta gets changed in a way that he suddenly is able to beat flankers based on skill? So it's an even matchup, because currently it isn't. You get
Yeah.
shit on by Genji, you get shit on by Pharah, you get shit on by Tracer, right? So there's a lot of levers for Blizzard to pull, and I'm not 100% convinced that they are pulling the one for Mercy. Even though they have indicated that they realize that it's an issue with the change, which they then reverted. But that's about as far as I can imagine them changing it. Or I could be completely wrong, and they change a shitload about her because because the community has been quite outspoken that they don't like the general playstyle of her, right? So I don't know, but
All right.
that's why it's a bold prediction, I guess.
All right. Vulture, do you have you have another one you want to go? You want to
Yeah.
save the best one for last, or you want to?
Well, this is my second one, and it's actually about Mercy, and I'm predicting what her nerf is going to be, and it's going to be simply the res animation. You can damage them in the res animation. That's going to be her nerf. Because currently, they res, they sit there, and they like sparkle and shine, and they're invulnerable, and then there's some sort of not clearly defined point where they're alive and they can pop out and attack, and that's really shitty for a player. I imagine I don't have beta, but I would be pissed if I got this like invulnerable tube of a person that I want to kill, and I'm not exactly sure when they're gonna pop out and be damageable unless I have like a stopwatch, timing it. I think that's gonna be the change, and maybe they'll shorten the duration as a result of this change. Instead of it being like what, it's like 5 seconds, something like that. The animation is. Maybe it'll be 2 seconds.
Not that long, but it is probably actually 2 seconds, and they could shorten it. But the thing is, and why I think that it is a bold prediction, is that I don't think they like the change would like the change too much, you're suggesting, because it's super, like, imagine you are being rezzed and getting shit on immediately. That's like the Battlefield syndrome where the medic just resurrects you for points even though he knows you're getting shit on, right?
Yeah.
He's just sitting around the corner. That's me, obviously. Dude, I abuse the ever-loving shit out of that mechanic.
But you know what? In a AOE kind of mass res, it's a little different because you can't focus
one person
everybody.
Might die.
Yeah, one person dies and you go like, it wasn't really meant for me. It was meant for my team. It kind of, your penis doesn't hurt as much, I guess.
I don't know if they'll be. It is a bold prediction, so we're just obviously completely speculating. I don't know if it would be like, it would res them and make them completely vulnerable. They wouldn't be able to act because that's super anti-fun for the person being resurrected. That's basically like being spawn camped.
Oh, if it's really short, it shouldn't be too bad, maybe.
Yeah, if it was just like you go off and it, for 1 second, you're able to take damage. So if the Mercy runs up and spawns you guys in a horrible area, like if you just got mowed down and then the team pushes past you and your Mercy feels like it's okay to just run up and res everybody right there where you just died again. That's kind of that. I mean, that's tactical in a sense, I guess, right? Because you shouldn't just blow it just because you have it. You're just going to get your team murdered again.
You could basically res people in the middle of like Hanzo dragons right now, and then like they'll pop up and out of it when the dragon passes.
Yeah,
I guess that's true.
Yeah, the thing is, there's also no real incentive for Mercy to use it. There's no point system that says, good job, you rest them, and that's why you go higher on the leaderboard.
Not yet. Right? Not without that progression system.
True. Yeah. Or a leaderboard. Yeah.
Yeah. So is there I know the rest of us didn't, but do you have a punishment behind that one?
Yeah, I'll eat like one of those banana assholes, if you know what I mean. The asshole of a banana, the little brown part that's in the
I
back of the
never
banana.
thought about that being the asshole of the banana
Yeah, I'll eat that.
because a banana usually isn't alive or has a, you
Bananas are
know,
alive. They're quite alive, but
I mean, it's a plant, so technically it is alive.
it doesn't have an asshole. But I figure if I word it that way, it'd be less palpable and sound more like a punishment.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction that your last one is also eating something horrible.
Yes.
dude, that, like it's it's not like even a punishment for him. He's like, yeah, like after the show, he's going to take his bowl and it's full of, like
Banana
toenails and
assholes
banana
and
assholes and fucking, I don't know what the last one is. It's like pee or something. And I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Then after that, I'll go play Junkrat and May.
Exactly.
all right,
Exactly.
well those are interesting punishments. So this is one that I feel like it's probably not that bold. It's kind of super obvious just the way that the community is kind of pushing for it. Blizzard will cave and put in some sort of death match or capture the flag variation by BlizzCon,
I think capture the
especially for
flags
Blizzard.
likely.
Yeah.
I think that, whether they do the mech suit or like the radioactive, or if they do like a free for all, whatever battle arena, or even if they do like, because, like League of Legends and Dota, and even like CSGO with gun game and stuff like that, there's always that like alternative mode that's not the competitive thing. It's just like, oh, either it's the end of the night and I'm tired of playing competitive, or I'm drinking some beer and I don't want to lose my rank. And you just go BS around in all random, all mid, or something like that.
What's the name of the mode now that you get if you're waiting in queue? What do they call that?
Oh, isn't that just like warm up or something? Isn't
I don't
the
know.
Overwatch one you're talking about?
Like if you're in a queue waiting for a match, they kind of put you in with 3 or 4 other people on a map to just kind of death match. I forget what they called it.
I think isn't it just something like skirmish
Yeah,
or
it's skirmish. Maybe
yeah.
just that. Make that enterable at will.
I do like that though. I don't know if you guys have ever played Rocket League, but when you're waiting in a map or when you're waiting to get in another match for Rocket League, it like puts you just in the soccer arena and you can just drive around, so you're not like staring at a loading screen. You're actually just physically running around the game even though you're not doing anything important. So I do like that idea of a playable loading screen.
Yeah, the
But
patent is running out, right? Someone had that. A patent on playing games in the loading screen. Some game
Really?
company had that, and it
a
recently,
patent? Really?
yeah,
I don't even know that was a thing.
yeah, recently ran out, I think.
All right, we have another bold prediction for us.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so which one do I want to take first?
The blue pill.
Okay, so this is more esports centered, and basically, I had this discussion on the subreddit a couple of times, and I'm honestly getting annoyed by it. But okay, here I go. Hubris, the currently best team in the beta in NA, and Reunited, the currently best EU team or second best EU team in the beta, will, unless they make drastic roster changes, which will be more than 50%, make it to BlizzCon.
Make it or be top 3?
Make it to
'Cause
BlizzCon.
that's not that bold.
Uh,
Because how many teams are gonna pop up before BlizzCon?
Oh,
well,
probably a bunch.
How many real teams with travel accommodations?
well, there's a shitload of esports organizations not in the, in the sector right now. So I think they're going to, like, SK Gaming just picked up, I think, the fourth best team. And honestly, I watched their replays. Obviously, like in the grand scheme of things, they weren't bad, but I didn't see too much promise of them, maintaining that. Like that's one of the teams where they're like on the verge of where I think, yeah, okay, when more people get the beta, maybe they will lose relevance and will have to make roster changes down the line. That's for me. That isn't true for Hubris.
You think
And
there's that huge gap?
yeah, like you can't argue with their results. First off, they participated in 8 competitions. They won 7, and they lost 1 because they got diva cheesed because their opponent literally invented diva cheese in that game. That you had never seen that before, right?
Yeah.
And then they took the diva cheese, they analyzed it, transformed it, and combined it, and actually play it the way it's the most powerful against the team that invented it. And if you compare there are 2 applications of that, especially on which map was that? Gibraltar, I think, where the spawn is very close to the point where you push the payload in, is that you can get out of spawn and just be a constant nuisance. And they really understand the timing when to pull the diva, because that's the one thing I always see people making mistakes with, is they pull out the divas too late. And then their first diva arrives and it's just trickling in. You want 3 divas at the same time on this payload and just shut it off, right? And then their Mercy player, Esper, he would literally stand there for 30 seconds in spawn just to be safe, because he knows he has range on the thing, on the payload where the divas die, and he just reses the divas. That's the point. Like, that's overpowered on that map in that specific situation. The way they played it, nobody played it this much to perfection yet.
Yeah.
And that's just one example. And honestly, dude, Tailspin is going to be the first star player we have. Calling it now. Add that to my bold prediction. Right? That dude is going places. Like, the thing is, I can totally see that some teams have a more stacked lineup in the sense of FPS talent, but they seem to be so much smarter in what they do. Also, keep in mind, I actually just asked Siegel about this. His team is breaking up, so suddenly the second best team in the world is gone, right? So there's a huge gap between Hubris and the third place team, in my opinion. Like, obviously, okay, Fnatic could take a map of them every once in a while. Melty was also kind of close, but all in all, like, I don't know. In the games they lost, it felt like they were also toying around a little bit. Had to, accustom themselves to the EU meta with Zenyatta sometimes and what's it called? Symmetra. So, I don't know. Hubris, for me, set in stone. Actually, might call that they win BlizzCon.
That's a bold prediction.
Okay. And for Reunited, they might actually be, like, from what I've seen from them, like, they have the willpower, at least. Like, from the thing is, if I'm honest, I think it takes either there's some meta changes that makes other players into better players, because I think, for instance, their Mercy player isn't really content with playing Mercy, and it kind of shows. Like, he hasn't, there's no aim, and he hasn't really, for Mercy, and he hasn't really adopted, the type of mantra you need to have for Mercy, which is a lot of patience. And that's
you think it's a lack of, like, that give everything to the team mentality, or just Mercy itself? So do you think he's not that good of a support player?
He might be a good support player, but he wants to be, I think he wants to be more in the action.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to be one of the players making the difference. And like, Reunited has some skill beasts. Like, I don't know how you pronounce him, but Valochaja or something. He's very decent. I play a bunch against him. Has sick aim. Very good McCree. Um, then there's Too Easy, obviously. Like that's obviously like if that team blows up, everyone will know Too Easy. In the same way you know RTZ.
Too easy for too easy.
Yeah. Like he's a little bit cocky
That's
from what I've
RTZ.
seen. Yeah. Not too much, but he has been nice on the subreddit, which I was
That is something though that I really hope blows up, and what helped Dota grow is just those type of people, those cocky personalities where people love to hate them.
Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, and I can see those teams coming up. And to support this argument, I think the advantage of teams in the beta will last a little bit. And that's why I don't like obviously you can't make the argument in saying okay, you're salty about not being in beta, or you say this because you're not in the beta yet, and if you are in the beta, then you're going to own everyone. Like you basically you have to decide what you think. Is the beta important for the competitive scene? In the sense that the people who are in there now, are they going to dominate for a while, or are they not going to dominate for a while because it's based on FPS mechanics and everything? And I personally think, from all I've seen, it's mostly about how long have you been playing the game, because there has been a substantial difference, and that's if I remember correctly, Fnatic, for instance, or now Reunited, had 2 weeks of beta less, and it really showed, and it just after a while they
that
started
gap
to pick it
though
up.
is definitely gonna like minimalize, because what there's been about a month ish of beta total, maybe a couple weeks more than that. But once people get in, once people play and blah blah, it's not like the people who first got into beta who were in first week or whatever, or even like pre-week that Blizzard didn't tell anybody about, those type of like competitive teams. It's not like those are just always going to be the best teams. Like, no, yeah, they're probably going to be the first people who win BlizzCon because it's such a short notice. But people who are worried about, like, oh, if I'm not in beta now, I might as well just never compete. There's people who joined League 2 years after it launched and became the best players in the world.
Yeah.
Like that kind of destroyed that argument for me.
Also, keep in mind, this year is not by a long shot going to be the biggest esports year for Overwatch, right? Because
It's the first year.
Exactly, if we look at the history of all competitive or big esports, it took them a while to, really define their flavor and sort of like attract a fan base, attract sponsors, and also for other games to die.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Vulture, your last bold prediction.
This one, it's going to be about the new game mode, and the new game mode is going to have ultimates tied to some sort of on-map item or mechanic. So ultimates are going to be either are going to be
boostable
tied.
Or
what?
You mean like boostable or like completely irrelevant other than the on-map item?
I don't know. Maybe boostable. I just think it'll be tied to map items somehow, in some way. Either it be like you get it and it denies the other team from deploying alts, or maybe it's boosts your alt and there's no other way to get alts in the game other than getting the item, or maybe you get it, you get a faster recharge rate for you and like some other one. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that Blizzard should experiment with, anyways, and I'm hoping to see it in beta in this new game mode that they're talking about.
So now that I know this is very unlikely to happen, I'm obviously, looking forward to know what you're going to put in your mouth for that.
I will drink day old decaf coffee, like a sip.
Are you that like vomit inducing of day old decaf coffee that it's a punishment?
All right, aren't you, Mr. Spider Murderer?
It's just coffee.
Uh-uh. It's decaf coffee. It's awful.
I actually don't know if I've ever had decaf coffee.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's just I don't know if they would ever do that. I think that's too innate to the mechanics of the game, but that's why it's a bold prediction.
Yep.
It would be cool though.
I look forward to not having to drink shitty decaf coffee. I'll say that much. And that's why I made it. This prediction.
What if all three of them come true, or like you fail all three of them? Are you gonna make a day old decaf coffee toenail and banana asshole smoothie?
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, probably. Yeah, get it all done at once. Yeah. Yeah.
Deal.
All right. My final prediction is I think this is a big one that there will never ever be. So this is up until release because it's specific. I don't think there will ever be a 100% free and open click a button and get in beta. Never ever. Because of the price model of the game, I don't think they will ever have like free of charge, just try it out.
Like open beta.
Yeah, open, full open beta.
I think that's yeah, I fully agree with that. I doubt that they're gonna have an open beta.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
And
like that does include like if they say okay, pre-orders can play now.
no,
That's not
you
what
have to pay
okay.
to you have to
Okay.
pay to
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Understand. Yeah.
And so my overarching theme, or not theme, but my overarching punishment, if I fail any of these bold predictions, I'll make a personal video on my channel of me taking a dozen eggs getting thrown at me.
Okay.
But you're not eating them.
What? I'll eat one. So 11 eggs, and I'll eat one.
Okay. Okay.
Can you eat like a dozen eggs?
Ew, no, I'd probably just like vomit out of both ends.
Yeah, then for my last, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How okay, it starts off not as bold, but I think it's quite bold how I finished that point. My first part of that thing is there will be a fully fledged league on the OGN network, which is the Korean TV station that broadcasts eSports.
Mm-hmm.
And I base this on obviously on the casters of OGN already kind of hinting that they want to cast this, and especially Doa is kind of he's in the Hearthstone scene already, so
Yeah.
okay, not too bold, can't see this happen. I predict by the mid of 2017, which one was it?
That's
Overwatch.
next year.
Overwatch is going to be the third biggest PC esport in the West, which means it beats out Dota and Hearthstone.
What about CS:GO?
CS:GO and League are going to top it still.
So it's CS:GO, League, and Overwatch are going to be the
Yes.
top three
Yes.
in the West. So me.
Yeah. So not I don't like. I have
not
no,
of the Asias and the
yeah,
sea.
yeah. I can't predict the the way Chinese people
Think.
interact or with esports. Like their numbers are fucking crazy, man, and they always were, right?
Mhm.
Just way back in Warcraft 3, but nah, that's not predictable for me. But like I think that's even saying that it's going to be bigger than Dota 2 and Hearthstone is already quite out there. But yeah.
Yeah, especially for the West.
Yeah.
Because that's basically like that's the MOBA giants.
You're talking viewership number, right? Not like prize amount.
Viewership, yep.
Okay.
Not prize amount and not player base.
It
Okay.
would not be prize amount. I mean, like, come on, 20 million for Dota prize pool.
Keep in mind that these are two essentially free to play games in there, right?
Yeah.
So
what's your? Do you have a date? Would you say the anniversary of Overwatch launch?
yeah, we could do that. Yep. Exactly. Yep, that would be a fair.
So you're of the there's this from everyone that everything that I've read, every, esport personality or streamer and stuff like that, there's this underlying prediction that it feels like Overwatch is this sleeper game that's going to come out of nowhere and it's going to be the next big thing.
Hmm.
I don't see how you could
Are you,
say it's sleeper at all. I mean, everyone's hyping it.
look,
It's everybody's
everyone's hyping
expecting.
it everyone's hyping it in a subset of people who like the game. It's not getting hundreds of thousands of, views on Twitch. Like after the hype kind of went away a bit when it was like after the first week of beta, people were getting maybe 1,000 views. And it was
So,
at like the top 10 maybe on Twitch.
well, how about this? What is it a good example of a game that's hyped more than Overwatch to be the next esport?
Here's the Storm.
Yeah, that's
Here's
not
the
going to
Storm.
happen.
Okay.
Here's the Storm was hyped out the wazoo, and then it disappeared, and Blizzard just ruined it. It was supposed to be like Blizzard threw it out, and they're gonna like, oh, this is gonna be the next thing. It's gonna, it's gonna take all the casuals away from, the two other MOBAs, and it's gonna be top 5 or whatever. It's not gonna beat them, but it'll be, you know, but now you go on Twitch and it's well past the release date, well past a couple BlizzCons, and Here's the Storm is just like it's okay as far as viewership goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to shit in the game. I'm just being honest.
Part of me still thinks that there's a lot that could be messed up about, Overwatch becoming an esport.
Mm-hmm.
And there's already some business decisions which obviously make total sense for Blizzard. But for instance, just not having this free to play, right, is already kneecapping viewership,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And it's
From
kind of
like
limiting it to a Western only game too.
from the League of Legends standpoint, where it's like everyone with a frickin' webcam can stream League of Legends because it runs so well. I mean, it runs not well. It can run on a Game Boy,
Yeah.
but and it's free and it's like the thing. So there's
Exactly.
millions and millions of people. But I do strongly believe that Overwatch is when CS:GO first came out, it was what, like 20, $25 when it first launched. People still bought it. Obviously, there's a huge backlog of franchise for CS:GO, but I do really believe it's going to be like Street Fighter or like Smash or like that type of stuff where there's always a buy to play. All it's going to do is it's going to keep out multiple accounts. It's going to keep out, all the people who try it once and then never pick it up again. It does kneecap a bit because you can't just jump in and play and try it. There is that initial cost, but I don't think that's going to affect it too much.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of things to consider because, for instance, for CS:GO, you have a pretty good conversion rate to players to viewers, right?
Yeah.
And that's also because they have this ecosystem of skins and their skin drops for the event, and that's kind of artificially boosts viewership numbers in a way too,
Yeah.
right? So if we don't have that, which it currently looks like, that we don't have any kind of ecosystem that for me, like, I'm kind of sad in that sense that Diablo kind of killed the Blizzard store for that, because if that succeeded, it's quite possible that we get skins also in other Blizzard games, right, to trade and everything, and
Yeah.
have an ecosystem in that way and open boxes and whatnot. But yeah, it's not going to be part of it, and it is a pretty huge, like, CS:GO was on its way out basically, and then skins really revitalized the scene, and nowadays, like, it's a huge part still of the competitive scene in a sense, right?
Yeah.
There's seemingly every second thread on the subreddit for CSGO is either someone throwing for skins or people talking about that people have thrown for skins and what punishment should they get for that and everything, right? So
Yeah.
it's still very much dominating the headlines.
I think that the popularity thing that's going to need to happen is there's going to need to be players and teams that are all over social media, that are all over, streaming and that type of stuff. There's going to need to be big streamers like, Hearthstone has like Crip and Reunited and Forzen and all those people and all the drama that goes on with them and all the people who, not that I want to promote it, but like all the drunk bullshit that goes on and all the kappa and all this other bullshit that it seems like it's nonsense, but it keeps just like the flow of popularity and people talking about it, and everyone's like, oh, we want all this drama to stop, but the drama kind of keeps everything relevant. That's why as soon as celebrities or something, fall off the map, if they care enough and they want to be in the limelight, they do something stupid.
Dude.
Or they start a fight with somebody.
Yeah. Like that's the thing about the intellectually dishonest plebs in esports, dude. Because that is no different than their imaginary girlfriends watching the Kardashians.
Yeah.
It is exactly the same. If Arteezy is bullshitting someone or shitting on someone, or Mo in CS, or I don't know, I guess League is pretty PC. I guess Grossgore. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like they get big on the back of drama. And it works and it sells and it is entertaining. Yeah. But don't be intellectually dishonest and say that this is any different. This is modern day's drama, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly, it's why, all the either just regular guys or, dads and stuff, they watch football, because when you watch ESPN, it's not like they go, okay, the scores were this and this and this. It's all the trading and all the fines and all the, this guy did this and this guy did this and blah, blah. There's drama. It's what keeps everything entertaining and keeps people talking. Can you believe this happened? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Drama.
There has to be that like art, that like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like soap opera-esque stuff going on.
I think that stuff, instead of feeding the scene, I think it's just kind of a symptom of being a large population consuming it, because people are going to try to feed that hunger anyways. So it's going to exist if the game is big. It's not going to help make the game big, in my opinion.
No. I mean, you
true.
can't just have a bunch of people fighting in the corner and expect people to, watch. It's got to be, oh, this guy's so good and so many people watch him, and then he wins and he's super cocky about it all over, social media.
Yeah. It helps maintaining, I guess, a certain status, because
it adds that little oomph back into it.
Yeah. And what you often hear is that a lot of people don't play the game anymore they're watching, but they still watch the streamer because they like the personality, and then they watch the tournaments they are competing in. So I think that is quite possible in Overwatch 2, and I think the concept has kind of been proven with guys like Siegel, right? And he, for instance, he today said that he currently has one of the most, like the best situations when it comes to talking to organizations, because he has the most leverage. He is the most successful Overwatch streamer. In a game where nobody gets over 100 viewers, he gets 3K pretty consistently when he played Overwatch.
Yeah. When Rafflegator streamed, usually he streamed at night. He avoided Siegel's times. Like, he tried to avoid the time slot. He got, roughly 800 to maybe 1,000 on peak nights. But on normal nights, he would be, roughly around 400 to 500. But, I mean, even him, he just a couple weeks after beta dropped out. And I don't know how Siegel's doing. I bet he's doing fine just because of who he is. But like Rafflegator, he basically had to go back to work for a little bit before before the beta comes back. I haven't checked on him since, but that was back in like late December.
The way he phrased it today makes it sound like he's playing full time. Actually,
he's getting paid to stream, or is getting paid to compete?
Now he's going to go like, I don't know what his current situation is, but the way he phrased it makes me believe that he doesn't want people in his team that aren't going full time. That's his goal, and that
Why would he
sounds like
want
what he's
that?
doing right now.
Yeah, why would he
Right.
want that?
Yeah. So
Okay. Other than any other speculation, actually, Yiska, I don't even think you came up with the punishment.
So I really like I do one punishment, and I don't want it to apply to all three at the same time. Let's make two out of three or 1 out of 3.
Okay.
Is it 2 out of 3? Let me review. Yeah, I guess let's do 2 out of 3. Okay. So if 2 out of my 3 predictions don't end up being true, I guess it also comes down how literal we want to be with what we said. But okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to eat a ghost pepper.
Oh my God, you
Don't
just
do that. Don't
you
do
sealed your
that.
soul, dude.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, personally, I like spicy food. I get ghost pepper sauce on my wings every now and again. But eating a full ghost pepper, which I have I have ghost peppers at my house. They're very hot.
Have you eaten
like,
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like just for, like a video or something like that. Like I've made a sauce, mixed it with like but I've never eaten one just eaten one like that.
Okay.
I've mixed it, chopped it up, and made it into a sauce.
Okay.
It's not gonna kill you. You'll get over it. Everyone, I think it's like a new thing. I think Kriparian, the Hearthstone streamer, he just ate one, and he's choking and crying and stuff like that. But it's not. I mean, you could play it up, but it's pretty bad. Do you like spicy stuff?
Yeah. It's just that I don't cope with it well, I guess. I actually like it a lot.
I'd say it's a very good. It's a very fun punishment. So do you want to tie them to specifically to 2, or you're saying if 2 out of the 3 predictions you get wrong
that's
out of any of them?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the Mercy one is going to be wrong, so like
you're safe
maybe
based
come
on
BlizzCon, I'm eating ghost pepper. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know if we're gonna log these anywhere, if we're just gonna keep track on our own and then announce, if we failed.
I hope we have an audience by the time that becomes true and that keeps us honest.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think we are pretty set as far as the news goes and our bold prediction goes. So next week will be beta. We will hopefully, totally. We're gonna totally be in beta, all 3 of us. We're gonna be, sitting back, drinking our brews, in beta.
Oh yeah.
So you have no faith?
No, I don't have any faith. I don't think I'm gonna get in beta. And that's cool. I'll just cry
in the corner.
They actually said that they're going to invite more people.
Yeah,
says it also in the post.
Yeah, in the post. There's a huge wave coming.
How big is huge? I mean, we're talking. What's the beta right now? Like 7,000 people, probably. Not even. Like, what's huge compared to that?
It'd be cool if they doubled the beta.
That's
20K.
Still like a tiny, insignificant portion of the beta signups.
Yeah,
if it's 20K.
Yeah. Forever positive. But other than that, we can always speculate more. I think we are going to sign off for now, and good luck to everyone else who signed up. But from everyone here at Watchpoint, we will see you guys next week. Have a good night.